Hey guys, Danielle Wateridge here with the Wateridge Group in Berkshire Hathaway, coming at you this Memorial Day weekend, dreaming about what's behind me. And instead, we are going to spend our Friday afternoon looking at market numbers. Still excites me. Hopefully, it excites you, you too. So I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to have some spreadsheets today. We're just getting so much data that the charts are just not really working that great. So anyone who's been following along the last few weeks, a lot of these cities, there's 9 cities that we've included now. We've been looking at a lot of them since early March. So what I have here is Fairfax numbers. What we really want to focus on is this past week, and then these supply numbers that you see here. And I'm going to walk you through what all of this means. So this week we had 13 coming soon, 33 new, 34 closed, 45 under contract, and 14 withdrawn. What you see highlighted in green, I wanted to just give a good visual of the highest number of under contract properties that we saw in a given week, and then how this week compares. So as you can see, the highest number of properties under contract in a given week since we've been tracking this is back between March 13th and 20th at 64. We almost hit that last week at 63. So what we see coming off the market is almost as important, if not more, than what we see coming on the market. What this depicts is what we have represented down here. So when we look at our supply as of the end of April 2020 in Fairfax, it was 0.84 months, which means if nothing else hit the market, we would be out of homes for people to buy in less than 1 month. Compared to April 2019, that was at 1.25 months. So we're down 33% this year in terms of inventory. If you've caught any of my other videos talking about how housing is going to be what helps us recover as we come out the back of COVID, this is one of the main reasons why that is the case. We are very much still in a seller's market. A neutral market is deemed to be 6 to 7 months of inventory. So anybody who's waiting for prices to plummet before they buy, right now there's no metrics to indicate that that is going to happen. We are still sitting very, very firmly in a seller's market. So I'm going to show you these numbers this week for each of the cities that we have looked at. Each of these 9 cities, we're going to look at the supply numbers as well. So moving on to Aldine. We had 3 coming soon, 12 new, 17 closed, 13 under contract, and 3 withdrawn. So the highest number of under contract that we saw in a given week was April 21st to May 1st at 21. We're at 13 this week. In terms of supply, we are down close to 50% year on year in Aldi in terms of supply. So we're at 1.09 months of supply in Aldi right now. In Reston, we had 7 coming soon, 25 new, 29 closed, 32 under contract, and 17 withdrawn. So we had 32 under contract this week. The highest number we've seen since early March was 39. And in terms of supply, we are down 32.6% in Reston year on year. So 1.21 months of supply in Reston right now. In Ashburn, the last week we had 12 coming soon, 31 new, 33 closed, 40 under contract, and 9 withdrawn. Again, the highest number of under contract in a given week was in mid-March at 52. We're at 40 this week. In terms of supply in Ashburn, we are down 15.6% year on year, sitting right now at the end of April with a supply of 1.13 months. In Burke, this past week, we had 8 coming soon, 9 new, 17 closed, 24 under contract, and 6 withdrawn. So as you can see, we had the highest number of properties go under contract in a given week in Burke this past week since early March. We are actually up a little bit in inventory in Burke, 6%, so only fractionally, which is all relative because we still only have a supply in Burke of 0.66 months. So in 2/3 of a month, we would be out of inventory in Burke if nothing else listed. In Leesburg this past week, we have had 14 coming soon, 28 new, 35 closed, 37 under contract, and 12 withdrawn. We've had a really, really solid performance in Leesburg in terms of what we're seeing going under contract. 3 of the last 4 weeks, we've hit our height in terms of the number of properties going under contract in a given week. Again, supply-wise, year on year, we are down just about 20%. 1.55 months of supply right now in Leesburg. In Vienna, we had 7 coming soon, 18 new, 23 closed, 19 under contract, and 10 withdrawn. The highest week we had with under contracts was the 24th to the 1st. Again, we're down about 36% with supply year on year, sitting in Vienna at just about 1.5 months of supply. In Herndon, we had 8 properties coming soon, 11 new, 23 closed, 23 under contract, and 5 withdrawn. The highest week we saw in under contract properties was the 17th to 24th of April. So we've come down just a touch from that. But again, looking at the supply numbers, we are down 42% supply in Herndon year on year, sitting right now at just over 1 month's supply. And in South Riding, we had 3 coming soon, 6 new, 7 closed, 12 under contract, and 2 withdrawn. As you can see here, 12 is the highest number of properties we've seen go under contract in a given week, and the last 2 weeks we have hit that. We are just at 1 month's supply in South Riding for the end of April 2020, up just fractionally, just around 6% here as well, compared to last year, which again is relative. So to reiterate that point, 6 to 7 months supply is deemed a neutral market. More than 7 months is a buyer's market. Less than 6 months is a seller's market. So when we are sitting at 1.5 months supply, even if we are seeing a little bit more supply in some of these cities than we saw last year, it is all relative. We are still firmly in a seller's market. So what does this mean? It means that properties are still going under contract. It means it's not a bad time to sell. It means it's not a bad time to buy because we aren't expecting prices to plummet the way that they did in 2008, and interest rates are super attractive right now. So if you want to dive into these numbers for your area, if it's not covered, or have a conversation about how these things impact you right now with your decision making for your family, please feel free to reach out. And I hope you guys have a great, safe Memorial Day weekend, even if it's a little bit different this year. See you guys next week.